Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? What a long day it has been. It's been a long day, but it's been a good day. I feel like I got a lot done today. But my day didn't start off too great, I will say. I went home last night to try to go to bed early. And I just could not fall asleep to save my life. I just tossed and turned in bed. And it wasn't like for any reason. It wasn't like anything was like bad was going through my head. And in all honesty, I like even after like talking about it on the vlog and stuff last night, like I didn't find myself super sad about pee-pee last night. I mean, I'm always sad when I go to bed because it's like the time for some reason it's like the time I miss it most, but I was just kind of laying there. I even did like my face routine. I did my eye cream and my hydrating face mask, and then I have this watermelon one I'm using right now. And then I did the Laneige lip balm, the Laneige lip mask, and then I spray it with the Tatcha Dewy Mist spray. I did all that. I felt so relaxed when I went to bed last night. I listened to a little bit of my audiobook too last night before I went to bed. And then I was laying there and I finally had fallen asleep, and I woke up with the worst Charlie horse in the entire world. And I mean, I started screaming, like literally woke Alex and the dogs up and everything, because it just like, it scared me. I was like in my sleep and I got this Charlie horse and he's like, straighten your leg. And I'm like, straighten my leg. Cause you know, like straighten your leg like this to get rid of a Charlie horse, you know, like where your foot and your leg is like that. And so I was like straightening my leg out and it wouldn't go away. And I was like, oh my God. And, so finally it started going away, but it seemed like it took a long time. Tanya and I were talking about it tonight, that like, you know, people say the more water that you drink, the better your joints do and stuff like that, and you don't get like Charlie horses and all of that. But I find like the more water I drink, and she said the same thing, the more that stuff happens to me. And she said she thinks it's because like there's other like nutrients that you need to be having that you're not having. And so she's like, you know, I always replace it with like eating bananas or, you know, like taking potassium and things like that. And for a long time I was taking, because I was getting them a lot. I don't remember how long ago that was, but I was taking like potassium supplements every day, just a small amount. But I did notice that it helped. So with this water right here, I will have drank a gallon of water today. This isn't even full. I'm kind of proud of myself. It's like, I aim at that, but I don't know that I've ever actually, I've come close before, but today was like, I mean, down to the very drop. I think I did drink an entire gallon today, or I will have after this cup. And I feel better having drank that much water. And I was talking to Tanya about it last night too, and she was like, well, what do you think about this whole diet soda thing? Are you not going to get Fountain Pops anymore? And I said, well, when I started wanting to like be healthier and not, you know, like do the diet soda thing, like, cause I mean, I don't even have one diet soda a day. Like, I just don't. I might have 3 a week, you know? And I told her that, and she's like, cause she said to me, we were talking about, like, have you ever, like, and we've talked about this in the past, like when people say, like, if you cut out all your diet soda because it's so bad for you, like, you'll shed 20 pounds, you know, right away. And she's like, yeah, that never happens for me. And I said, I just don't think that maybe, like, I drink that, like, much soda compared to, like, what they're talking about. You know, maybe those people drink a lot of soda. I don't know. I just don't, you know? And, I mean, throughout the day, I drink, like, a coffee, like a venti coffee, and I sip on it, like, all day. And then in the evenings, I drink water. I've always drank water. I just haven't drank tons of water, you know? And, but I would say that most days I drink about like a third to a half gallon of water, just probably throughout the day. And so she was telling me though, she was like, yeah, she's like, well, she was like, I've like increased my fountain pops. And I was like, have you? Because I haven't noticed. And she's like, yeah, I'm finding myself getting one throughout the day, and then I'm finding myself getting one in the evening. And she's like, I'm drinking too much diet soda. And she splits her soda. She does like half diet and half Coke. Like, I was just standing on the side of the road looking up at that house. It was kind of weird. When you start reading and listening to a lot of true crime, you like think of everything from like a true crime point of view, you know? So I was like, well, maybe, you know, we need to like really watch our diet soda intake and really, you know, cut it out and all that kind of stuff, because I'm trying to do that too. And she's like, I know, but I just love diet soda so much. And I said, I do too. I said, but like right now, I have to tell you, I am like craving a diet soda like nobody's business. Like, I'm really craving a diet soda. But I think it's also because I'm not allowing myself to have one tonight. I don't know. It's just also silly, isn't it? I can remember the last time that like I got into shape and I lost a lot of weight. It was after my ex and I broke up. I started like losing weight, and it was not in a healthy way. I started losing weight when my ex and I were still together. But like the last 2 weeks, it was like the very end. I started eating, I was eating 3 lean cuisines a day. I was like eating 1 for lunch, and then I was having 2 for dinner. And I remember I was pretty much always eating the same meal because I found one that I really liked. And they still have it, I think, today, but it's different. And it's the basil pasta and chicken. And, but it was really good. It had like this linguine in it, and I loved it. And I would make both of those, and that's what I would have for dinner. And the first 2 weeks were like hell. I was so hungry like the first 2 weeks, but after that I did okay. But I really like got used to eating like that, and then I lost like, well, I was like, when I started, I was like 245, 250, and then at the end, not at the end, but when I stopped doing that diet, which was after about 2.5 months, maybe 3 months, it would have been a little bit longer than that. It was probably three, like right at 3 months. I was down to 190 pounds. But I started, when he and I broke up, I had just gotten a gym membership, and I was literally going to the gym every night. And I was lifting like 4 nights a week, and I was working out on the Stairmaster, like the stair stepper. I was doing that every single night for like an hour. And I would just sit in there and I would like watch TV shows or a movie or whatever, because I was just like so lonely. And then after I stopped doing that was when sometime around there was when I became a vegetarian. I can't remember. I thought I became a vegetarian after my mom passed away, but it could have been maybe before. I don't remember. By the time that I went to go visit my friend in June, though, I definitely was. My friend in Denver, because he's like a hardcore vegetarian. And I think he might be vegan. I think he's been vegan for a while now. But, because he took me to several vegetarian restaurants in Denver when we were out there. And at that point, too, I was like working out all the time in the gym. I was like obsessed with it. And then that went through the whole summer. I ate super healthy. I can remember I would go to a Whole Foods deli, and I was spending like, it was expensive. I was spending like $30 a day at the Whole Foods deli. And I can remember I would buy I wasn't eating like the healthiest stuff, but I was eating healthier than I was eating before, which was like fast food every single night. But I was eating I would get like an egg salad sandwich. They always have these like fresh egg salad sandwiches at Whole Foods. And then I would get like an egg salad sandwich, which I cannot stand egg salad today, but for some reason at that point I was like really into it. And then I would get like orzo salad, soup, and then they had these corn fritter things that I would get, and I would get all that. I was drinking a lot of water back then. I think that was maybe the only thing I drank besides, like, you know, probably coffee and like a fountain pop, because I mean the fountain pop thing with Tanya has been, you know, for years and years and years. So I did that. My head is killing me. And so I did that, and like I was eating super healthy, and as far as like, you know, not going, I wasn't going out to eat. I wasn't, I think I was like eating like veggie sandwiches from Subway and stuff like that, but what else was I eating? I don't remember. But anyway, I was working out every day too. Like every day I was in the gym. And that's probably physically the best I've ever looked. And then when Alex and I got together, we still, I mean, we, at the beginning of us, like the first couple months together, we ate pretty healthy. I mean, I look at pictures of me back then. Well, I got down to about 170, which was kind of like my ideal weight. Maybe 180, between 170 and 180, which today would be my ideal weight too. So far away from that. And so we would go, okay, so I would pick him up from work. He got into a car accident before I like met him, and so he didn't have a car right then. And so I would pick him up from work, and then we would go and we would go work out. And like every day, we went to LA Fitness and worked out. And then after that, we would go and get smoothies at this really healthy smoothie place right next door. They weren't like fattening smoothies, they were like super healthy smoothies. And I always got like this matcha green tea smoothie with like, you know, you can get the extra things in it. Like Jamba Juice has that too, but we don't have a Jamba Juice here. Where you can get the pumps of like, you know, immunity or the pumps of this and it and whatever. And so I would do that, and then we would like shower and stuff, and we would go out to eat. And like we didn't make dinner at home any more than we went out to eat back then. And a lot of we used to go to this place a lot called Bar Louie, and there's a new one. That one is gone now, but I think there's a new one. I don't know if it's by the same owner or not. But I would basically get we would get a Caesar salad, like, or he would get a chicken Caesar salad and I would get a Caesar salad like every single day. And no, I was getting a chicken Caesar salad when we went to Bar Louie. So that must have been after I was a vegetarian, because even a Caesar salad, you know, has an anchovy base in it. When did I stop being a vegetarian? Well, I stopped being a vegetarian like that September. Well, that would have made sense because we started dating in August and I stopped being a vegetarian in September. Oh, that was like, we took pee-pee on this little trip. So I wanted to go to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So I told Alex that it was like a Friday, and I surprised him and I said, we're going to Gatlinburg. Well, he thought, I said, I rented a cabin, and he thought I meant Brown County, Indiana. I don't know why, which is like 2 hours from here. Well, Gatlinburg is like 6.5 hours from here. So we're driving. He's like, how much further do we have? And I'm like, oh, babe, we're not even halfway there yet. And he was like, oh my God, I have to eat. I didn't realize it. So he's like, can you stop? There was like a McDonald's. He's like, can you stop here so I can get something to eat? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I pulled through the McDonald's. I've told this story on here before. This is how I stopped being a vegetarian the first time. We pulled through the McDonald's, and like he ordered, I don't know, like chicken like chicken nuggets and a double cheeseburger and a Coke. And I ordered like a large fry and a Diet Coke, and I wasn't happy. I was hungry and I wasn't happy about it. I had been craving chicken fingers forever. Like, it's weird because like this is my 3rd time being a vegetarian, and each time it's something different. This time, for a long time, it was red meat. And people would tell me, they'd say, if you're a vegetarian and you crave red meat, it means you're not getting enough iron in your system. I don't think that's true. Because it wouldn't be like I'd just be driving down the street and I'd think, oh my God, I want a steak. It wasn't like that. It's been like, we went to Ocean Prime. Oh my God, that was almost a year ago. We went to Ocean Prime last year with Melissa and Jason for Valentine's Day. And like everywhere around me, people's getting a steak. People are getting a steak, and I'm getting a baked potato and a wedge salad. And I was like, I want a steak. Like, I want a filet. It's stuff like that. It's not like I'm just all the time craving that. And I very rarely do I crave like a cheeseburger. Fast food was hard for a long time, but that's just because I think I was addicted to fast food, nothing else. But now I don't really think about it. Like, I really don't. I wish back in the day there was this restaurant here in Indianapolis that we used to go to. This was another place. Okay, this was another restaurant that we would go to a lot after we worked out. And this would be like right after we worked out. So I would pick up Alex from work, and then we would go work out, and then we would get smoothies, and then I would take him back to his house, and he would get like his stuff to come and stay with me. And so then he would stay with me that night, and then I would take him to work in the morning, and then after work, I would pick him up again, and we would kind of do the same thing. We did that several nights a week. We actually were like together a lot when we first got together, I mean like almost every day. And so that was the beginning, but there was another restaurant that we would go to a lot. I'm so sad this restaurant doesn't exist anymore, because this was literally one of my favorite restaurants in Indianapolis, and I always got the exact same thing. And it was called Eddie Met Salad. Like Harry Met Sally, but Eddie Met Salad. And I think the guy that owned it or started it, his name was Eddie. He actually, I know this because we talked to them one day in there. He started it as like a college project, and then he turned it into like an entrepreneur college project, and then he turned it into this restaurant. He had like 5 of them here in Indianapolis, and they were just salad restaurants. And you could go through, and they could like make you this like fresh salad, and they had all of these different salads. And this salad that I would get, I'll have to ask Alex if he remembers what it's called. Oh, it was called an ensalada, which is, I think, Spanish for salad, but it was called an ensalada. And it was like really, like, it was like iceberg lettuce chopped up really, really fine. Not fine, but like this, like really small. And then it had chicken in it, but it was like almost kind of like barbecue chicken. And then it was tomato, salsa, corn, I can't remember what else. And then it had like these little, like, instead of tortilla, it had like the little wavy tortilla chip things. And then it had like this chipotle dressing in it. But it was like a specific kind, because I tried to make it at home one time and it just tasted disastrous. It didn't taste anything like it. Well, they came in these huge wooden salad bowls. I mean, like the salad bowls that were like that big, you know? Came in these huge wooden salad bowls. And we would go there like a couple nights a week. I feel like that came with bread too. I think it did come with bread. Oh my God, it was so good. So see, like, that's all I would eat in a day. It was this huge salad. It was so healthy for me, you know? So that's kind of the stuff that I like miss today. Is I was just thinking about, do you guys remember when my old car, I almost said my Explorer, that was the car before, my what was that little car that I used to drive before? Escape, my Escape, that I would have to like hold onto my camera because it was gonna fall. I thought for some reason it was gonna fall. But anyway, it's not gonna fall, trust me. So I was eating pretty healthy because I was eating like salads. Yeah, because we were going to Bar Louie at the same time, so I wouldn't have been a vegetarian then because I was getting, you know, chicken Caesar salads at Bar Louie, and I was getting these enchiladas with, you know, Alex, and then we would go to like one night a week. We were not eating like high end at that point. I mean, high end being like what, Cheesecake Factory, but Cheesecake Factory can be $60 or $70, you know. We were going to cheaper places, and we would go to like Applebee's once a week, and we would get like, I got that chicken something, excuse me, wrap. I don't remember what it's called. But we would like get it with I would get it with fries, and then we would do like the 2 for 20 where you like share an app, and we would share like spinach artichoke dip. And then I'd get that chicken wrap, and that would be like all I would eat for a day. And I was working out on top of that, and, you know, drinking a bunch of water. So I was eating really, really healthy. And then I don't really know what happened. Let's see if we can break it down. So then, well, and then on the weekends, we were going out, like literally like Wednesday through Sunday. Well, we wouldn't go out on Sundays, but Wednesday through Saturday night, we were going out. I mean, every night we were going out. Wednesday nights, where did we go on Wednesday nights back in the day? We went to the Vogue in Indianapolis. They had this retro rewind thing that they did a lot, and a lot of Alex's friends went to that, so we would go there. But there was also a drag show downtown on Wednesday nights that we would go to. And then Thursday nights, we would go to, we would go salsa dancing at this place called the Jazz Kitchen. That was so much fun. And then we would go to this bar downtown that doesn't exist anymore. And then Friday nights, I don't really remember what we did on Friday nights. And then Saturday, and we would always go to dinner, and then like we would work out, go to dinner, and then we would come home and like, you know, be romantical and take a nap, and then we would go out. That was kind of like what we did throughout like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Friday, I don't remember what we did. Probably, we used to go to this bar called Greg's OP's, which I've talked about in here because it's where that Baumeister guy used to go to. We would go there on Friday nights, and then Saturdays we would go to Talbot Street, which is this gay bar here in Indianapolis, and we would go to the drag shows, and we would go with our friend, the one that we're going to see in Dallas. Well, we're going for a wedding, but he lives out there too. And then we would go to the gay bars, and then we would usually, if we didn't stay at the gay bars until they closed, we would like go meet some friends at like bars downtown. And that was our weekend. Sometimes on Sunday nights we would go to a drag show. They had a drag show at Talbot Street on Sunday nights. Talbot Street, this gay bar, is closed now, but we would sometimes do that. And yeah, I mean, we were going out all the time, and I don't miss that. Like, we had a lot of fun. But I would enjoy that now if we were doing like salsa dancing like one night, and, you know, like going out one night, the next, I could do like one night a week maybe. Alex doesn't even go out there like that. Tonight we sat around the house the whole night together. He was supposed to do something with his aunt tonight, and then she couldn't for some reason. And so, where am I at on time? Oh my God. It's gonna stop in like 20 seconds. So anyway, so he was supposed to do something. Last night he was supposed to go out to dinner with Sarah and his other friend, and that didn't end up happening because the other friend canceled. Tonight he was supposed to do something with his aunt, and she ended up not being able to do something. He was like, she was wanting to like talk to him about like helping her with some stuff, like computer stuff, I think. Okay, it's just gonna stop, so hold on a second. And then, so he was at home all night tonight, and then Thursday, he doesn't have anything tomorrow night, so we're just going to be around the house tomorrow night. And then Friday, he has dinner with a friend. He had something almost every night this week. Friday, he has something with a friend. Saturday day, he has something, but not Saturday night. And then Sunday, we have Sebastian's birthday party, and I think we'll probably get a brunch that day first, too. So that's kind of it on on our schedule this week. But anyway, he was around the house all night tonight, and he just laid there on the chair with the dogs, and was watching all the shows, and I was kind of like cleaning up the kitchen and putting my stuff away, and I was looking at stuff on Audible, and what else was I doing? I was making my list for tomorrow so I could be more productive tomorrow than I was. Well, the only thing I wasn't productive on today was I had all these videos I wanted to make and I didn't get to make them, but I had this sobriety thing that I had to do this evening, and it ended up getting moved earlier, and then it went later, so I was rushing out of the house to get stuff done, and I just was kind of lazy for the early part of the day, and, you know, went and got my coffee, and where's my coffee cup? Oh, it's over here. So now this was my water cup, and it's now turned into my coffee cup. Is there any coffee there? But I went and got coffee, and I just kind of like had stuff to do around the house, or like some errands to run and stuff. I just kind of was lazy, listening to music, talking on the phone. My audiobook has gotten so good. So good. If you're looking for a thriller, but it's kind of like, I mean, it's on, I was telling Tanya, it reminds me a little bit of The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, because it's very much like this woman on the run. So it's not like a political thriller or anything like that. It's not anything, you know, like espionage, but it's a good book. Like, it's a really good thriller. And she says this line in there. So she's like, hasn't smoked in like 20 years. And she starts like, she wants a cigarette. And so this guy that she's like traveling with goes for a cigarette. And he's like, what do you think? And she's like, it's disgusting and I love it. But it's really good. I'm going to listen to more of it tonight before I go to bed. So yeah, I mean, that was what we did back in the day. How did I get on the whole weekend of what we did on the weekend stuff? Well, when we would come home, we would stop at Steak and Shake a lot. And we would eat at Steak and Shake like on like Friday and Saturday nights when we came home. And now, mind you, we were working out all through the week. We would work out on the weekend. So Saturdays we were working out, and Sundays, I don't think we worked out on Sundays, but you know, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, we were working out. So, and I wasn't eating horrible, other than we would go to Steak and Shake on the way home, or Taco Bell, or we would get Taco Bell and bring it back to the house. And we would go to Steak and Shake, which is like, I'm looking to see if there is one around here. There's not. Which is like this little burger diner place. It's a chain. I don't know how to explain it. It's so good. But that, like, stuff like that is what I miss from being a vegetarian. But anyway, we would get like Frisco melts. Well, first we would get a bowl of chili with cheese and like 9 million oyster crackers. They have the best chili in the entire world. And so we would get a bowl that was like this big. And then we would each get a Frisco burger with fries, or sometimes I would get onion rings. I think he got fries and I got onion rings. We get a Frisco burger, and a Frisco burger is basically like a patty melt, you know, like the cheese, in case you're from somewhere you don't know what this is. It'd be like a cheeseburger on like toasted bread. But Frisco burger has Thousand Island dressing on it. Oh my God, they're so good. And then onion rings, and then he would get fries, and they're the skinny fries, the real skinny fries. I hate those fries. Alex loves those fries. I mean, I'll eat them, but they're not my favorites. So then we would, sometimes we would split an order of chicken fingers with fries. That's a lot of food. And I wasn't putting on any weight. I was staying thin, you know? But you know, the thing that's interesting is, this is where I know that I've like always had body dysmorphia ever since I was like 17, and I became like really, like, I look at like 16, 17, because the summer from 16 to when I turned 17, no, it was the summer when I turned 16, from 15 to 16. That was when I lost a lot of weight. I think that was the summer I lost a lot of weight. Well, it was 14 to 15, 15 to 16. No, it was 15 to 16. I'm almost positive. And that was when I lost a lot of weight that summer. And I came back and people like treated me differently. And I didn't like, I was never like super heavy back then, like nothing compared to what I am now, but I was heavier. And I wasn't, you know, athletic at that time anymore. And I think me stopping being athletic, actually not playing tennis, was a huge part of it. Because, you know, before that I was playing tennis. It must have been 15 to 16, because that would have been right after I stopped playing tennis that fall. I put on a bunch of weight after I did that because I was playing tennis every day. So then I stopped and I just like put on a ton of weight, and then I lost all this weight. But I wasn't a healthy eater. Like, I ate crap all the time. Like, I just, was talking on here the other day about my friend and I that we would go to Wendy's and we would get double cheeseburger plains, Like, I was eating unhealthy all the time. And ever since then, like, ever since whenever that age was, I don't remember, my weight has fluctuated. Like, there are periods at that time where my weight was very, very low. Like, I was like 140. Because I can remember when I lost that weight, I went from like 170, I was like 170 at like 15, 16, and I got down to like 150, I think. No, I was like 180 and I got down to like 150. But it was enough, and I like grew too. So it was like, people just noticed a difference, and my hair was different and everything. And then at one point, like, I gained a bunch of weight back, and then I lost it. And I'm always yo-yo dieting, always, not eating healthy, not, like, even when I was trying to lose weight, not doing it in healthy ways. And I got down to, like, 140, like, the end of my junior year, I think, 145. But I still wasn't as tall as I am today. I was several inches shorter, so it didn't look, I didn't look unhealthy. But I did get like that later, when I was drinking and using. I went through like this period where I just became obsessed with being super thin. I was super, super thin. I mean, if I showed pictures, you guys would die. You'd be like, oh my God, it doesn't even look like you. And then, yeah, so that was that. With Alex, I think what happened was, okay, we switched gyms. We switched from that LA Fitness to an LA Fitness by our house, which then they turned that into a lifestyle family fitness, which we went to a lot, but it just kind of like switched up our routine of what we were doing. And so we just stopped going. Alex's work schedule changed, a lot of my schedule changed. So we stopped. And I was, at that time, I wasn't putting a whole bunch of weight on at a time, but I was putting on, like, I look at pictures, like, there's this one picture I have, and I'm wearing, like, glasses, and I have this Western shirt on, and we were at our friend's, bachelorette party in Chicago at the Public Hotel, and I remember sitting there, and I remember that weekend before we went on the trip, I weighed myself, and I was 212. I remember that. And, so they got married the summer after we did. So we got married in 2011, so that would have been 2012. And I went through my whole recovery, my Fitness Pal one night on here, and looked back at all of the different dates that I had been, this weight and this weight. Oh, I wonder where my other hat was, and it's sitting like right over here. But anyway, I'd gone through all of that to see the different weights and whatever. But I think, in all honesty, that was probably one of the last times that I was around 212. And then I remember, it must have been that same summer. Okay, after the wedding, we came back. And I really do think this has a lot to do with being comfortable in a relationship and feeling healthy and feeling safe, because I did at that time. I progressively put on weight after our wedding. Before our wedding, I didn't gain any weight. But I do remember being at our wedding, and I had gone from like 275 to like I was like low 90s. I was like 290, 295 when I got married. And I can remember like not wanting to lay out of the pool with everybody else. And I look at those pictures from that trip, and I just think to myself, oh my God, you were like so thin back then. Like I see it now, and I'm like, you were so thin. So if I ever get back to that weight, I need to tell myself that again. But at the time, you couldn't tell me that. I did not feel thin. I felt so fat. And actually, like, my acceptance of my body is the best as it is today in the last 30 years. Like, in all honesty. And I'm probably the heaviest that I've been at only maybe one other time in my life. Like, peak weight. So, but I wasn't happy or accepting of my body back then. So then we came back, and I remember that following summer, Alex also, like, he was doing some stuff with Absolute Vodka, and he did this Absolute float. And they had, like, all of these, like, dancers on the float, like, in Speedos. And so Alex and his girlfriend, because I was supposed to be on the float, too, because we, like, helped organize it. They, like, just were in the back, like, throwing beads and stuff, but they were not in Speedos. It was he and his girlfriend. And I walked along the side of the float through the Pride Parade, and there's a picture of me. I have a picture, like, with her and him, and I had this purple Grateful Dead shirt on, and I remember that was the last time that my ring would fit, and I was 218. And I know people don't understand why I don't get my ring sized and all this kind of stuff, so let me explain this. The engagement rings that I bought at Tiffany's are very unique. They're like welded weather, like woven metal. They cannot size them. If they size them up, they're that way forever. So if I would get them sized and I would lose weight, they can't bring them back down. Now, our wedding bands, Alex got our wedding bands, it never fit me. Like, even when we were in Las Vegas, for some reason, like, when he went in to get the rings, she gave him 2 of his size. Alex's finger's a lot smaller than mine. She gave him 2 of his size. And so, at Tiffany's, because they had our ring stuff on there. So my ring never fit. But at first, because I was thinner, I could kind of force it on. It hurt. Like, but not bad. But I could wear it. And I was going to go get it sized, and I just never did. Now, I've been like, well, I want to lose weight anyway. I've been wanting to lose weight forever, so I'm going to get it sized when I lose weight. It's kind of in my head. And I know that other people don't understand that. It's like me keeping a pair of jeans in my closet, these nudie jeans that I have literally never worn once. And I bought them the year that my mother passed away in Denver, Colorado with my friend. They were like $400 jeans, and I got them like really cheap on sale at like Nordstrom or Saks. They have been in that closet with the tags on them ever since the year that my mom died, 2008. So they've been up there now for 12 years. Coming up on this June will be 12 years. So they've been up there, and I'm not throwing them away. I don't care if I die and those things haven't ever been worn. I'm keeping them. They're the cutest jeans. I know I'll probably at some point lose the weight and be able to fit into them and be like, I don't even think these are that cute. So me. But anyway, yeah, so okay, so then we started going to work out at this Lifetime Style Family. It wasn't Lifetime, it was Lifestyle Family Fitness, which doesn't even exist anymore. It's now this Fresh Time grocery store over here. Oh, that's what happened. So then they closed down. And during that time, they said that our memberships were good for as long as we had a membership. So, like, our membership, I think we had like 3 or 6 months left on it. And they said that you could use your 3 or 6 months. They had partnered with Lifetime Fitness, which is huge, you know, and that we could go there and use our memberships. I think it was something like that. So we started going to Lifetime. Well, Lifetime is not the kind of gym that I ever wanted to go to. It's fine. I know people love it. I actually did for a really long time. I went there late at night, like a lot. And it was never that busy late at night. I always said I wanted to go there for the pool. I never went swimming once. So we renewed our contract there. Alex, like, just never went. He, like, went, like, a couple times and then never went. And it just was it was just very meat market-y. There were always, you know, 300 people there. I just didn't like it. I don't like working around other people. I just don't love it. One of the things for me, I mean, I haven't been doing my training as much as I have been lately. Today I was supposed to actually go to my training, and I couldn't go because of this Charlie horse that I got that was so bad that when I even woke up to go to my appointment, my leg still hurt so bad. I was like, there's no way, right? And I know she's gonna push me, so I rescheduled it. But they changed at my gym where the practice mats are for the training, and they used to be in the back in this room, which was fine with me. I liked that, right? And I just feel like, okay, I can do whatever, and if I look stupid, I look stupid. Now they've moved them, and they are up in the front, right behind the like the treadmills and the Stairmasters, and all of the machines are around them. So while people are working out, they're looking at you with a trainer, and I don't like it. And I told her that. I said, and this has been like a couple months since I did this, but I told her, I said, I don't like this setup. And she's like, oh, it'll really push you, it'll really challenge you. I said, for me to walk through that door is a challenge enough. I said, I don't know that you understand that about people that are big. I said, but like, I'm telling you right now, because I hate, this is why, and I love my trainer, she's fantastic. But one of the things that I cannot stand, and I have not been going to training a whole lot lately, I just haven't. But one of the things I can't stand is when skinny, thin people that have never struggled with weight loss in their entire life, and this is about anything, it's not just about weight, it could be anybody that, you know, they want to, like, I had this girl that I used to work with, and she'd say, you should just eat less and move more. And I was like, really? Oh my God. I can't believe I never thought of that. Eat less and move more. Wow, that's genius. So, I went a couple times to training, and I'm sitting out there, and I feel like right in the middle of all this stuff, and I'm like catching people like looking at me as I'm huffing and puffing out there, and I'm like, I don't like this. I told her, I said, I don't like this at all. So, we've done it some other places around the gym and stuff like that, but like that's where she wants to do it. I'm not trying to make a point of my confidence is so great that I need to work out. I need to be in the gym working out. I don't really care if I'm like working on my self-esteem while I'm doing that, okay? I'll work on my self-esteem outside of the gym. Like, I need to work on my self-esteem to get me into the gym, you know? Like, I can tell you on day one, if they had said to me, this is where you will work out, I would never have signed up for personal training. Never. Never in a million years would I have ever signed up for personal training. I told her that. I said, this is a mistake right here. She's like, oh no, a lot of people like it already. I said, why? She said, they just said that they like being closer to the front of the gym. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I don't get that at all. I liked being in the back, out of people's way, where nobody was like looking at me, you know? And for a long time, I thought like, oh, when you go to the gym, you always think, like if you're like a newcomer at the gym, that everybody's looking at you, and you're like, oh no, they're not really looking at you. And I'm down there one day, and she's like, do these inchworm things. I hate these inchworm things anyway. They're so, first of all, everything when you are heavy is like, takes 10 times more exertion to do, right? So I'm down there, it's basically like you get on the floor, and you like, with your arms and legs, you act like an inchworm, okay? My butt's in the air, and my gut is hanging out probably, and it's just not a good look, right? And I look up, and this woman is staring, and she's on this treadmill, and she's just watching me on this treadmill, and she's like real in shape and stuff. I was like, could you please stop? I mean, I didn't say anything, I just kind of like looked down, but I was embarrassed. I was like, could you please like stop looking at me? She didn't look away, she just kept on like, I was like, my God. This is why, and I told my trainer, I said, see, she's looking at you, and this is why I don't like it up here. Oh. I'm like, well, you look like that. I don't, okay? You look like somebody that should be in a fitness magazine. So, Lifetime Fitness. Started working out there. I stopped working out. For a while, I went late at night, and then I just stopped going. I wasn't into it anymore. I don't really remember why. I honestly don't remember why. Oh, you know what? Okay. Like, I had stopped going regularly anyway, and I started eating like crap, and that was like, when I was at the point where I had like no emotional sobriety, and Alex and I were going out all the time, and blah, 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 and then I flipped out and asked Tanya to take me to that meeting, and that was when I came back into 12-step rooms. Okay. Now, before that, I was still like working out, because I was going out all the time. I wasn't going to go out fat. I just wasn't. Like, I know this sounds strange, but I wasn't going to go. I mean, if I was going to go out, I was going to look cute. And so, as vain as that may sound, that's where I was at that point. I was miserable. I was sad. I was not happy at all. So I get back into going to meetings. I'm not going out anymore, okay? Alex is going out like once a week. I remember, it's funny because the Saturday nights that he would go out and I would go, I went to a, people always ask, they're like, have you ever sponsored anybody? Have you ever sponsored anybody? I don't know why that's such an interesting question on my, like, I always get that question like 20 times in my Q&As. I'm in a recovery program. Of course, I've sponsored people. So I was sponsoring this guy at the time, I remember. And he and I are like real good friends today. But he like moved away and then he like moved back and got like, anyway. So, and for everybody out there that's saying, oh, you're outing somebody that you're sponsoring, A, he would give a rat's ass if I said his name on here right now. B, tell me who I'm talking about right now. Tell me who I'm talking about. And everybody in my home group knew I sponsored him anyway, so there's always that person that says, like, I'm outing people in meetings. No, I've never done that. I have never done that. So anyway, I think people know how sacred I take 12-step programs in sobriety. At least, I would say, normal people that put their thinking caps on. So anyway, on Saturday nights, he and I would go to this candlelight meeting. And then afterwards, there was like 10 or 15 of us, and we would, it's so sad because like 3 of these people are dead now too. We would all go to Steak and Shake, and we would eat there, and oh my God, we had so much fun, and it was a good time, you know. And I took Tanya to this meeting one time. And it was like this meeting where people vaped inside the meeting. They don't do that anymore, but so we're in the dark. So it's a candlelight meeting, so it's dark. And this is a different candlelight meeting than the ones I went to when I started on YouTube. But so it's dark inside. I used to go to a lot of candlelight meetings. I love candlelight meetings. Candlelight meetings mean it's dark and then there's candles on. Some candlelight meetings are just called candlelight meetings and they really aren't candlelight meetings, but it's late at night. But most when you go, they'll have like either real candles or they'll have like the battery operated ones. This one had the battery operated ones. But people could have their vape pens, and not their like marijuana vape pens, but their smoking pens, you know, like I almost called it an Uber, like their Juuls and stuff like that. So we're sitting in this meeting, Tanya and I. And it's like not a lot of people. I mean, it's only like 20 people in this meeting. It's in this huge room, and it's like light goes off, light goes off, light goes off, light goes off. Tanya came to her, and Tanya said, she still laughs about this. I wish she was here to tell a story because it's so much funnier coming from her. She said, I felt like I was in a roller coaster in the dark with those lights going off. But anyway, so I would get a Steak and Shake, and God was at the end. And I would get a Frisco burger, and I would get onion rings, and I would get a milkshake, because they have great milkshakes, and I would, you know, do all this, and a cup of chili or a bowl of chili. And that was my treat, you know. And Alex would go out, and then, you know, he would get breakfast with the girls on the way home. We'd be texting each other the whole time. And then Sunday I went to this, it was like the spiritual meeting, and it was at 11 o'clock on Sundays, and I would get up and go to that, and they had donuts. And then afterwards, Alex and I would go to brunch. And then we would get pizza in the evening, and we would watch a movie together. And my husband, when I tell you that he was supportive of my sobriety, of coming back in, I mean to tell you, he was so supportive of me. Really had no clue about recovery whatsoever. And he was so supportive, you know. And then through the week, I would go to a noon meeting, and then I would go... One day I would go with my one friend, and we would go get bagel sandwiches and blueberry muffins. And then with her, like if Alex went out, some nights she and I would go to a meeting. And when her kids were with their dad, with her husband, when her kids were with their dad, she and I would go to Jack in the Box and buy like $15 worth of food and go back to her house and eat it. And then we would get pizzas, and I just was eating like shit. I was eating like shit, and it didn't matter because all I was doing was throwing on, I had one button-down collared blue shirt that I would wear sometimes to meetings, and I would wear hoodies. That's all, I literally wore hoodies. I mean, not much has changed, right? But I wore hoodies like every single day. Okay, well there's a danger in that, because when all you're doing, I was going to a 12 o'clock meeting, an 8 o'clock meeting, and I did like work stuff in between. When you are like, you're basically living casually, there's a danger in that, because you don't really have to worry about anything, like how you look, and I didn't care. And that's when, oh my god, the battery's gonna die. That's when I started wearing a lot of hats, and wasn't doing my hair, and, you know, on and on and on. I didn't care. I didn't care. I just threw on a hoodie, right? So I progressively started gaining tons and tons and tons of weight. And I think in a matter of 2-3 years, I probably gained 30 to 40 pounds easily. Now, mind you, I had already put on like 5 or 10 a year, 5 pounds a year, 10 pounds a year, the previous couple years. So add that all together, and there I was again, at this place where I was physically really, really unhappy with my body, and didn't really know, I guess, you know, how I got there. But I wasn't eating because I was sad. I mean, I say I'm an emotional eater, and I believe that, and I say that I'm a food addict, but I just love food. And even if it's healthy food, I love, I mean, I could sit there and eat like vegetables and healthy dip and eat quantity, not quality. Like if I get a salad, I get a lot of salad. Like I'm a quantity eater, and I know I'm a food addict, but I guess when I say I'm eating emotionally, like some of my, like I eat more out of happiness than I do out of sadness in reality. And sometimes when I'm really, really sad, like I'm just not super hungry. But when I am really happy, like I love, like one of my favorite things in the entire world is to eat and watch TV shows. Like I love to get Taco Bell and sit down and watch TV. You wanna know how bad it is? I can remember the new season of RuPaul's Drag Race was starting. Alex and I would always get Taco Bell. Oh, no. He was doing that Optavia, I think, at the time. And so I was like, well, we'll probably not watch it together because he's doing Optavia, and he was like so strict with it, you know? And I was not doing Optavia. And so anyway, I can remember the first episode. No, it would have had to have been before that, because I think it was an All-Stars season, because it was the one where Shangela was on it, I remember. But anyway, I was so excited to get Taco Bell and watch RuPaul's Drag Race, because I love to get Taco Bell and watch RuPaul's Drag Race. It's like my thing. And I was like, oh my god, another season again, blah, 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 whatever. And then I was like, I thought to myself, well, you can't even try to diet for like the next 3 months, because RuPaul's Drag Race is on for 3 months. So how are you going to even possibly try to lose weight? I mean, that is like how my mind works, and Okay, I'm back. I had to, where's my pen? I had to, the printer is broken on the receipt thing. I had to pull into the gas station and get gas. So I was like, well, this is a perfect place to change the battery too. I never get off at this exit. And what's so funny is there was a Taco Bell right next to this exit. I was just talking about Taco Bell. And there was like this girl and these 2 guys inside, and the guy next to me. And they they just must have gotten off their shift from Taco Bell, because they all had Taco Bell hats and coats on. And they were buying lottery tickets. They were real sweet. They were young. They were probably like 22 or 23, something like that. They were real nice. But anyway, I mean, I don't know if they're real nice. They could be serial killers, I guess. I don't know. I went in here, this was so stupid. I went in here and tore this old receipt apart so I could write down, because the printer on the gas is not working. I wanted to write down how much my gas was. And I didn't even do it. And I folded up this blank piece of paper and put it in my receipt. So anyway, yeah, but isn't that how ridiculous how I looked at food back then? I was like, I'm excited about eating food. I mean, that was like my excitement during the day. I like look at that, you know, and I don't know, maybe I had boredom in my life because all I was doing was going to meetings and, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Maybe that wasn't, I think that was not when Alex was doing Optavia, but I feel like he was dieting or something because we weren't eating a lot together. And that was when our relationship was just really on the pits. And I found a lot of like enjoyment just watching TV and eating. I just would sit in front of the TV. I would go to meetings and I would just sit in front of the TV and I would eat. I don't know, but it's dangerous, you know, like, it's no excuse. I know so many sober people that are really, really into like working out. In fact, I would say it's kind of a trend right now. Like, you know, when I got sober, hold on a second. When I got sober, put on my heated seat, my heated wheel. Okay. When I got sober, you know, we all drank 50 cups of coffee and smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day, right? And then over time, what you'd see is all the kids that were getting sober, all like the younger people, not maybe so much the older people. I mean, I think they still like smoke cigarettes and drink coffee. But smoking is not as big a thing in recovery programs as it used to be either, you know? But like the younger generation, like I was when I got sober, you know? So then you'd see the younger generation come in and they would be drinking those like rock stars, and they still do, a lot of them. And the Monsters, not so much Red Bulls, but the rock stars and the Monsters are huge in 12-step programs. And I think they're cheaper and I think they're stronger, so I like them. And then they would smoke cigarettes, hardcore, right? But then over a period of time, you saw it turn into like energy drinks and then like vape things, like the big ones, you know, where you would like blow all the smoke. And some people still use those and whatever, but I would say what's happened in the last couple years that I've really noticed, I actually have a good friend of mine. He is probably, oh, he's a little bit younger than Alex. He's probably in his late 20s. He's been sober now, I would say, I don't know, 7, 8 years. He's like bodybuilder type. Like, and he was, when I met him, he was chubby. I mean, he was straight up chubby. And that's what's happening to a lot of these younger people, that they get sober and then they're like, I'm done destroying my body. And they like get really into working out, really into eating healthy. They don't drink soda, they don't drink fountain pops, they hardly drink coffee, they don't smoke cigarettes, and they don't vape. And it's like, you know, back when I got sober, I was like told, like, don't try to quit everything at once. And now I feel like it's a different message. I feel like people are being told, well, this is probably a good time to reinvent your whole life, you know, which I think is fantastic. I really, really think it's fantastic. And, I mean, I have been honored to know so many people that came in, you know, when they got sober, they got into, there's so many different things too, you know, like they're really into running marathons or yoga or Pilates, and, you know, they're really into, I had one contact in my eye. I traded the other contact out. So I have my old prescription in my left eye and it feels completely comfortable and fine. And I don't know if it's just the pair of contacts that she gave me, but I have had nothing but straight health from those contacts. And I have that other contact that she gave me in this eye. But I can't believe that the prescription would make it feel like it was spinning in my eye. Well, I mean, it's not doing that, but it's just like, it feels like it is ripped or something, but I keep on looking at it, it's not. But you know, I mean, there's more options today of different, I mean, I guess there were options like that back in the day, but you had to like really look out for them. I don't know. I'm impressed with them. It's inspiring, you know, to get sober and then within a year be like, well, I was back to school in a year, but you know, they're in school and they're like working towards like careers, and it's really cool. I mean, it's really, really cool to see that sobriety is, and they're having so much fun too, you know. I think like that's the one thing, is that there just weren't that many young people when I got sober that I knew, and so it wasn't, and I've talked about this on here before, it's like, I mean, they all like hang out together and they go on trips together, they go skiing together. There's like whole like young people's programs within 12-step programs. It's very cool. So, and I think necessary too. I think, you know, you get sober at a young age when what you know is hanging out with your friends and partying, and then you get sober and you have no fun. Like, okay, so explain to me again why I'm doing this. I mean, we can, to any age, we can talk about, we can minimize the need to have fun and whatever, but the reality is it's important to all of us, I think, you know? We all want to have fun. I don't know what is going on with my contact all of a sudden. So yeah, that's what happened. It's just over time, I progressively just put more and more weight off. And then, you know, my metabolism had changed over the years. You know, I'm 47 now. My metabolism sucks. And when I met Alex, my metabolism was pretty good. Plus, I was working out. I was running like a lot back then, you know? Or at least I was on the Stairmaster. I call it Stairmaster, but I think they're called Stair Steppers. Ellipticals is what we call them now, right? But I mean, it's back then, I could watch what I wanted to eat for a couple days. I could shred weight, you know? I can't do that anymore. One of these days I'll be at my goal weight. I don't even know what that is anymore. I really honestly don't. I just like to be under 200. If I was 290 or 190, I'd be really happy. I would be ecstatic at 180, which is crazy because I can remember. So my old supervisor and I, we went to Louisiana, we went to New Orleans to go look at these treatment programs down there because we were building a program based on these independent living programs down there. And so we went to New Orleans and then we went to Thibodaux, Louisiana. It was so beautiful. We drove through the countryside and all this kind of stuff. And I remember I needed to have some pants for that trip, for I needed business casual, like khakis. And I remember at the time I went to Abercrombie, I don't know how old I would have been. It was when I was with my first boyfriend, so. 27, 28. I mean, I gained weight with him too, and I lost it really quickly because after he and I broke up, I started working out like hardcore. That was probably the healthiest year I've ever had in my entire life. I've talked about that before, like what I was eating and stuff. I just talked about that on here a couple days ago about the 2 chicken breasts and all that peanut butter sandwiches. Yeah, I think I was 27 or 28 when I went on that trip, and my contact is really giving me a hard time right now. And I remember I went and I bought a pair of 34s at Abercrombie, and I remember I was 182, 180 maybe, and I was devastated that I was in the 34s. And there were these drawstring khakis. They were they buttoned, and then they had a drawstring inside of them. I loved them. I wore them for a long time after that. But I was devastated that I had gained that much weight. I was 180, 184 or something like that. I don't know how I would have been 34 waist though, if that were the case. But, oh my God. I just thought the other day too, you need to keep contact solution in your bag so that you, y'all know I carry this bag around with me always. You probably know that, yeah, I'm sure. But anyway, what was I gonna say? But I was devastated that I was that way, that I was way up into the 180s again. When today I look at that, I'm like, oh my God, if I was 184, I would be singing from the mountaintops. I'd be so happy, you know? And then I remember that year, I got down after my ex and I broke up, my first boyfriend. I got down to 170, 174. And I remember I was super thin. I was like super, super thin. And I think the lowest I got before I met my ex was 168, 167, 168, something like that. If you're somebody like me that has struggled with your weight your entire life, you remember weights. And I remember weights coordinated with, like, things that happened or times in my life, you know? It's strange, isn't it? So still out tonight. Tomorrow, I've got a massage, and this is my massage in the afternoon. I'm so excited. I have that in the afternoon. Oh, I gotta go through later and get my money out for that. And then what else do I have? Nothing. I got a bunch of, like, errands I need to run. Do I have something else? I feel like maybe I do have something else. And then I have, well, so I only made one video today plus my vlog, but my vlog was 2 hours. Did you guys notice that? Hello, 2-hour vlog. Lisa, you almost got your 3-hour vlog. I was, like, uploading it, and I was like, oh my God, this is like an hour and 56 minutes. I was like, Lisa almost got her hour vlog. Like, if I had vlogged earlier in the day, she would have got her 3-hour vlog. She also commented that she loved the shout out, so of course I had to shout her out again. I think I'm making a regular thing. That and Sean. I used to shout out Sean all the time. Well, I need to go through and read all your comments, because I feel bad when I go through and I kind of, like, read a couple of them and not all of them. But anyway, I think I'm gonna get off here now and I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. So I'm trying to get it done. I've got, like, all these books I want to read, and I'm trying to get it done. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope you guys are having an amazing, what is tomorrow, Thursday? Thursday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. It's like, what do you always say? But like I always say, don't have other plans. Enjoy your day, make the most of it. Do something today that when you look at your life 5 years down the road, or when you're 5 years down the road looking back on your life, you'll be like, I'm really proud of myself for making that decision that day, or I'm really happy I did that that day. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Look at yourself in the mirror every single day and do your daily affirmations with yourself and say, I love you, you are valuable, you are important, you matter, you are a good person. Today is going to be a great day, and 2020 is going to be your year. I promise. I promise. I should just do them in the camera because I can see myself in the camera, so it's the same thing, right? And did you not understand what that's why I look up at the mirror? Because it's the mirror. Okay. So anyway, most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how much they mean to you. Any random person, anybody that really is important to you. I think sometimes the closest people to us, we don't let them know how important they are to us. Just tell them, I love you. You matter to me. And I love you guys, and I will see you. I do. I love you. You matter to me. I love you. And thank you for watching. And I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya. Bye. Love ya. It didn't stop because I needed to say more love yous. I love ya, I love ya, I love ya, and don't ever forget it.